A 3-hour train ride from San Sebastian takes us to Bordeaux, France. We check into our hotel and immediately head out looking around. We find the old opera house near the hotel. Members of a key political group in the French Revolution are commemorated by this particular pillar and statue, which is towered over a dramatic bronze fountain. The very politically active group played a critical part in the early process of the French Revolution. At the top of the pillar is the statue of an angel of liberty, holding a broken chain. This fountain was built between 1894 and 1902. The base of the column features a statue of women representing Bordeaux. We came across a flea market which was closed, so we continued walking. This tram has no overhead cables. It gets power from the third rail. We walked along the river walk and we could see the cathedral in the distance, which we'll visit a little bit later. This bridge leads to the other side of the river, but we didn't go. We jumped on the train that goes to Pissac, where Chateau Papin Clement is located. On my birthday, we booked a tour in this vineyard, which was planted in 1254. The vineyard was originally owned by the Bishop of Bordeaux. Here is our tour guide for the day. In the distance, you can see another castle and vineyard. This building can be rented for special events, weddings, or parties. Throughout the property, you can find olive trees that no longer produce olives. Here is one of the few working tractors in the property. Most of the work is done by horses. The vineyard area consists of 32.5 hectares, 30 of which are planted with grape varieties of 60% Cabernet Sauvignon and 40% Merlot. Plots are cultivated with wide varieties of Sauvignon Blanc, Salamon, and Muscatel. At the end of each row they had rose bushes planted. Rose bushes attract bugs first, so that's why they know that they have bugs in the vineyard. More olive trees that don't produce fruit. After walking around the vineyard for a while, we went inside where the magic happens. The guide took us inside to show us how the grapes are processed. They have pickers and workers that come by every year to help with the harvest. Grapes are blended and they're put into these large vats. From there they go into the smaller barrels. Here you can see the information about what's in the barrel with the chalk writing. In this large room, the barrels wait for the day when the wine is bottled. They only use new barrels. When it comes time to bottle the wine, a big truck comes by and has all the equipment needed to bottle and label. This room houses all the artifacts of the bishop at that time. We then go into the bishop's chapel. Here is the tomb where he was buried. In that same area, we can find all the bottles of wine waiting to be processed. This rack has wine bottles dating back to 1893. After the tour, we went into the wine tasting area. The tour guide poured different wines so that we could taste them. After the wine tasting, we bought some and shipped it home. After the tour, we took the tram back into town. We found the arch, which is the entrance to the city and the start of the shopping district. This is the church we could see in the distance. The odd thing about this church is the bell tower is located away from the church. The doors were closed, so we didn't get a chance to go inside. The bell tower sits out there all by itself. I tried looking straight up to see the bells, but they were covered up. From here we could see that there was a flea market going on, so we decided to check it out. Little did we know that this was the Muslim area. We walked around and it was fine, nobody bothered us. This is the fun of walking around without knowing where you're going and stumbling across different things. Petite Dubai clothing store. We continue walking through the back streets to explore some more areas. We came across the bell tower of Bordeaux, which was built in 1756. We walked around through the back streets and looked for a place to get a snack. The tram system is very nice. It's not very expensive, €5 let us ride the whole day. The Cathedral of Bordeaux was built in 1096. Restoration of this cathedral is ongoing at this time. No pews in this church, just chairs. There is also a restoration work being done on the inside. Almost every church that we came across in Europe was being restored in one way or another. Gee, I wonder if an American lives here. Bordeaux still has 5,000 homes that were built in the 18th century. We walked our way towards the port where I understand there was a German submarine pin. This is one of the newer bridges in Bordeaux. Watch how it opens. distance we can see the submarine pens, so we walked towards it. The sign here says, "This way to Steak and Shake." This is what remains of the bridge arc opening. We kept walking along the shore of the port, and finally we found the Steak and Shake where we had something to eat. As we approach the German submarine pens, we see these boats that look like they've seen better days. The Italians were using the port of Bordeaux during the Second World War. The Germans then realized that this was a good port, so they decided to build these bunkers. Here they serviced the submarines that went out to the Atlantic. The bunkers were started in 1941 and completed in 1943. The Allies could not destroy these bunkers because they were too thick. I tried to get in, but nobody answered the door. The bunkers are now privately owned. We continued walking through the old town where we found some beautiful artwork along the walls. Some of these back streets date back to the Roman days. The black sheep, every family has a black sheep. I'll walk in the park on a rainy day. This is a convent set up by the Dominicans in the year 1230. We stopped at this indoor shopping where we found a little grocery store, got some snacks, then we got kicked out because they were ready to close. The Opera Theater. Goodbye, Bordeaux.